Well, it's time for stage 3 pick'ems. Now, I know what you're thinking. Stage 1 and 2 haven't been the best, but don't worry, it's not just me. It's almost everybody. I don't think I've met a single person that has had a stage right yet. It's okay. There's a lot to talk about for stage 3. I do think that we should be able to get this one right. At the very least, the better teams are playing. There shouldn't be as many upsets. Let's talk about the pick'ems for stage 3 after a quick word from Skins Monkey. If you're not familiar with Skins Monkey, this is a trade site that allows you to take some of the old and crusty skins out of your inventory, and you can actually trade them in for something a little bit new, a little bit shinier than what you have right now. And it's really easy to do this, actually. All you need to do is log in through Steam, pick the skins that you don't want to use anymore, grab the ones that you do, and then click trade. All trades will pretty much happen immediately, and any balance that you don't use in your trade actually stays on the site for you to use for any future trades that you decide to do. And right now, if you use the link in the description, you can actually get a 35% deposit bonus, and that's good for up to $100. So let's say you deposit $100, you would actually get $135 on the site if you use my link. So make sure you check out Skins Monkey, and let's hop right back into the video. Okay, so like last time, we do have the simulator up with all of the round 1 matches, just like last time. These are all going to be best of ones, and they start on Thursday morning. So the first game is going to be Vitality versus Legacy. Now, I'm going to be honest, we've covered a lot from Vitality on the channel in the last couple of months. I think they're the best team in the world, hands down. They're on a 30-game winning streak, and I don't expect that to be stopped by Legacy, and I actually don't expect it to be stopped at all in the group stage. So I will just spoil this one right away. I'm going to be picking Vitality in my 3-0. They are the heavy favorites to win the major, and especially now that Falcons are not in contention, if you know, you know, they shouldn't really have any resistance going all the way, at least in my opinion. If they lose the streak to a best of 1, that would just be really tragic, and it would just be further proof that the format isn't that great, and we can all cope harder on our pick'ems for the next major. Now, after that, the next match in the simulator is, of course, Mouse versus VP, and I have a lot to say about Mouse, which is that I think that they are the other favorite to go 3-0 hands down, and you guys might have some doubts, but let me remind you of something that you might have forgotten about. If you look at Mouse's recent game history, there's only 2 teams that they've lost to in the last 3 months, and both of those teams are Vitality and Falcons. And Falcons aren't here. If you know, you know. And Vitality, well, if everything goes according to the way it should, they might not even play each other in this group stage. So it should be set up for a Mouse Vitality final. And I don't really think that VP has what it takes to upset them in a best of 1, albeit they have been playing really well. And I mean, if it happens unlucky, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen to my pick'ems this major. But I mean, I still think that they should be going 3-0 with no real dramas. So I am going to put them here as well. Now, after that, we have to figure out our 0-3 and our rest of our advancing teams. And for our 0-3 teams, we would like to reference the simulator. And for our 0-3 teams, we'll reference the simulator once again. We have to look at teams that have a rough first match. So, for example, I think that Lin Vision will most likely lose to Liquid. If you want to give credit to Lin Vision, I think that that's completely fine and fair. But I will just bring your attention to this. We do have to look at the most recent results for Liquid. They are still good. I mean, they are losing games, Vitality, Mongols, but they are still beating the teams that they should beat. I mean, most of the time they are. But either way, they're still going to be a better team than anything that Lin Vision has played so far this entire event. I mean, if we're being completely honest, Lin Vision probably should have lost debate today. I really think that that was a big upset. You see, as soon as they made it to the best of 3s, they get destroyed by Pain. The best of 1s were good. They had that crazy win versus Falcons, but I mean, the Falcons actually just played terrible. I mean, if you didn't see my breakdown of that game, you should go check it out. They got completely anti-stratted, and that's going to happen when you don't respect your opponent. But in general, I think Lin Vision is just happy to be at this stage, and I think that they're the safest pick to go 0-3 based off of their first match, and I think that I'm just going to lock that one in right away without thinking too much. After that, we'll go back to the simulator. We have to just kind of run through these briefly. I think Spirit will beat Pain. I think that we'll probably see 3D Max beat G2. That's maybe an upset, but I think they have the better team. And of course, G2 is coming in here with Hades as a sub, as well as, like, you know, they're missing Nico and Monacy, and they probably haven't got it together too much yet. That would be my prediction. Mongols versus Fury, I would give that to Mongols. Then Aurora FaZe, I'm going to slide that to FaZe for the best of 1 just because of my own biases. And then Na'Vi versus Namiga, I pick Na'Vi. There's 2 teams here that I think are likely to go 0-3 other than Lin Vision. And those teams, of course, are going to be Legacy and Namiga. Now, truth be told, I think Legacy has a lot more momentum coming into this stage than Namiga because they just barely scraped through the last stage. Let me pull up their team right here. They just barely scraped through. They did beat a Heroic who didn't look that great, admittedly. They kind of threw that game towards them. And then they beat a best of 3 versus M80, which, you know, as much as I want to give my NA bias, it's expected, right? When they played 3D Max, which is the only stage, or the only team that's still at this stage in the major, they lost to them in a best of one. And in general, the level of competition is just significantly higher. I think any match that they get is going to be hard for them. They could win a best of one, but I think in general, if we look at the head-to-head of Namiga versus Legacy, I think Legacy have a way more impressive run to get to this stage. They've proved themselves as a worthy contender. I don't think that they'd make playoffs, of course, but I do think that they have kind of freed themselves of going 0-3. With that being said, I have picked them 0-3 at every other stage in the major, so I might as well go for the three-peat, but this time I won't do it, and I'll lock in an Amiga as my 0-3. After that, we have to pick our last 6 teams to make the playoffs, and I think that this one should be pretty straightforward. We'll start by looking at Spirit. Of course, they're coming off of a win at Astana. Granted, Vitality wasn't at that event, and neither was Falcons, but I mean, it's Donk. He can single-handedly carry them to playoffs if he wants to. Again, if you look at the teams that Spirit's been losing to, it's all of the contenders, you know, Vitality, Falcons, Mouse. There's really nothing that should separate them from making it to the playoffs here. That should be a safe lock. They could go 3-0, but I think it's a safe lock regardless. We will be seeing Spirit in the playoffs. Now, after that, of course, we have a few more teams. I want to just say that I don't know if there's any other like safe picks to make it, because it depends on form. A lot of these teams are coming in here mixed bag. We haven't seen them in a few weeks, and it's kind of hard to judge how a team is going to be. The first team that I want to put in playoffs is going to be the Mongols. I think the Mongols have easily been one of the better teams so far in 2025. Maybe looking a little colder compared to where they were when they were at their peak, but in general, I just think that the Mongols, well, they've done well so far. They did good in Dallas. They've done good at all the other events they've attended. I would like to see them in the playoffs, and I think that they're a safe pick. Now the hard part comes. If you just pick based off of teams, you would say, oh, well, Na'Vi is going to make it, and then Aurora is going to make it, and then FaZe is going to make it, and then Liquid's going to make it, and there you go. There's your playoffs. The problem is that I want to do this, and I actually might do it, but I don't think it's going to happen. We have to have a real discussion, because Aurora is a team that I expect to make playoffs, and they have beat a lot of good teams. But also remember that they did lose to Heroic before this event. They've lost matches to Astralis, Na'Vi even, and even Big Clan in Astana. There's a ton of teams here that could get the better of Aurora coming in a 2-2 match, which means that Aurora is a team that could easily be upset. We have to bring it up. FaZe is a team that could easily be upset, and they do play each other in the first match, so I guess we'll kind of get to see where both of them are. I don't know if I think FaZe have it in him. Maybe Simple will lock in when he knows he can play on stage, and everybody else will be looking way better. I will say, FaZe did look good in the MIBR game today, but I don't know how much I value that. I don't know if that's going to be something that I'm like, oh, they're going to make playoffs now. Me personally, you know I got to put FaZe there because I'm a FaZe fan. But I mean, if you want to take my pick'em advice, maybe consider a team like 3D Max. We have to look at Na'Vi as well. Na'Vi, they have looked good, but they had that loss to Astralis, which was unacceptable. Like Blade said, unacceptable in a tier 2 event, whatever he said. Losses to Liquid, losses to Falcons, map losses to FlyQuest and MIBR. I still think they have it in them to make playoffs, but it's another team that I'm not set on. I'm not 100% that they will do it, because if they end up in a 2-2 match versus Aurora, you know, it could go either way, in my opinion. And then, of course, we have Liquid. We already looked at this, but Liquid, they have gotten some decent results. Of course, beating Na'Vi, MIBR, losing to Vitality. We already talked about this, but when they play these teams that are going to be at this stage, it's a mixed bag. I overall think that these are the safest picks to make, and if you want to make the safe picks for the major, this is probably what you should do. But if you were feeling a little cheeky, I would say that I would experiment with putting FaZe in Aurora. I would experiment with some of these other teams. Maybe you're a big Furia fan, or you think that Legacy is going to pull off the dream. It's up to you at the end of the day, but I think that these are the safest picks. I think that this is confident. I should get this stage right. There's almost no way that I don't. And yeah, I'm going to lock these ones in, and I'm going to say good luck. Oh, we did get the silver coin by locking those picks, so I guess I'm not going to be a bronze coin guy. That being said, I appreciate you guys for coming to watch the pick'ems. We will do playoffs before I go as well, and even though I haven't been getting them right, I still appreciate you guys for coming to check out my opinions. I think we all know that this last stage was a disaster, and realistically, that was nobody's fault. Stage 1, I guess I got a little unlucky with not expecting the Lin Vision upset, the Legacy upset. So with that being said, if you guys like this, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you can see everything else that I do, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye, and much love.